views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
What's up, Bronxites? We're excited to bring you episode number 3. It's Emerging Media Makers. Get comfortable, stay with us. We're back. It's BronxNet. It is I, Bernardo Moronta, programming manager here at BronxNet. Episode number 3 is upon us, Emerging Media Makers, spotlighting new and exciting programs on your BronxNet channels. This month we have community producers Cindy Matamoros, Peter Solano, and Miriam Tabb, and we're going to learn more about their dynamic new shows. So let's get into it. We have the mighty Cindy Matamoros with us right now. I love that name. I just like saying that.
Thanks for having me.
It sounds good in English and in Spanish.
Yes, it
Cindy
does.
Matamoros.
It's strong.
Yes.
Matamoros, yeah.
Well, welcome. Thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me. I'm a little nervous, but
Oh, that's okay.
it's
Don't be
great.
nervous.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, no, I'm kidding. It's just tons and tons of people watching. No, I'm kidding. No. So you are the producer and the host of Cultura Libre.
Yes.
Cultura Libre, which in English means basically
Free culture.
free culture. Right. So it's about Spanish culture in the Bronx.
Yeah, when I created the program, my main idea was to create a space for Latino artists to share their art, their truth, but also I wanted to talk about the Bronx, to show different aspects of the Bronx that most people, sometimes they have like a bad idea of the Bronx, especially some Spanish speakers, since the program is in Spanish. So I just wanted to add that. I wanted to change that and contribute to my Hispanic community.
Cool. So we're going to show a clip and all that good stuff later on about the show, but let's get into you. Where do you come from? What country are you from? Let's start with that.
Sure. So I'm from Ecuador.
Nice.
I'm a singer, and I studied music here at Lehman College, but I always been interested in media.
Okay. So you studied music in Lehman, and how did you turn that into a BronxNet career? How did you took the class, right?
I took the class, I took field production, I took studio production, but before that I created a YouTube channel. So it was like 2 years ago, in which I did interviews. So when I took those classes, I just want to transfer all that information into the program and just add the part of where I talk about the Bronx.
So you took field and studio, you graduated,
Yeah.
and then did you have the concept for Cultura Libre during the class, or did you go into the class knowing that you would want to do Cultura Libre, or how did that go about?
I think it came out during the first class, field production, when I did the pilot. So I have to, I have to come with different ideas and just came with that idea.
Okay. And then you shot the pilot, and it got picked up.
Yes.
And then you're on BronxNet.
Yeah.
And how's it been going so far?
It's been going great. When I started, I didn't have a lot of knowledge about editing. I always like it. Even because I'm a singer, I always edit my own videos. But this is a totally different story. So with each show or with each episode, I've learned a lot.
Great.
Yeah.
That's what it's
And
all about.
everything,
That's what we want.
Yes, and every episode, I think, in my opinion, it's better when it comes to editing and the story. So.
No, yeah, it looks great. Honestly, we wouldn't have
Thank
invited
you.
you unless we were emerging. There you go. And we're going to check out a clip right now from Cultura Libre with Cindy Matamoros. Check it out.
Culturalmente hablando, el Bronx es la cuna del rap y del hip hop. Y en sus calles se hablan más de 75 lenguas distintas, ya que más de la mitad de la población es migrante, aunque predominan el inglés y el español.
So it's Emerging Media Makers, episode number 3. Bernardo, that was a clip from Cultura Libre. It's on Monday nights at 6:30 on BX Omni, which is Optimum 68 and Fios 34. And we have the producer and host, Cindy Matamoros, but you also go by Emilia, I understand, right?
Yeah,
So you
Emilia.
mentioned you're a singer. That's your artistic name.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's my middle name. I'm Cindy Emilia Matamoros, but it's too long, and I prefer Emilia, so. I'm also Emilia Matamoros.
And what kind of music do you sing?
Well, it's a fusion of different styles. It could be pop, bossa nova, or ballad. I'm still figuring out different styles, but yeah, I'm excited because next year, I think, probably in February, I'm going to release a new single.
Nice.
So, yeah, I hope I can come back maybe and present it here. Who knows?
So getting back to that clip, you present a lot of factual information about the Bronx. Do you have like a team that researches that for you, or is that all you? Or these are really interesting facts. Like, where do you get all this information from?
Well, I do a lot of research. Like I told you before, I wasn't born here. I come from Ecuador, but since I came here, I've lived in the Bronx, so it's been a lot of years, and I do a lot of research. I have some people that help me, but most of the work I do it myself. So I'm looking for a team. So if somebody wants to work with me, we can just talk about that.
So in one of the episodes that you shot, El Retablillo de Don Crostibal, say that 5 times fast. You feature a local theater. You feature a local theater, and you feature, but we don't see a host. So you talk about the local theater, but we don't see a host. It's just the people in the theater. Like, we're just focused on them. Is that a stylistic choice on that special episode?
Well, yeah, because I am in the play. So when I filmed those interviews, I wasn't able to talk. It is not much footage about me, but I'm in the play.
So she improvises, ladies and gentlemen. That's nice. So what's your opinion about TV programming for Spanish language speakers in the current day? Like, how do you feel the state of that industry is, and how do you feel Cultura Libre fits into it?
Well, what I think is there are a lot of like entertainment programs, and my show it's not so much about that. It's more like to educate people, and that's why I wanted to do something different. Because if you see like the regular channels, I don't want to mention each channel, but it's most about entertainment or celebrities or talk shows. But I just wanted to bring something new. I wanted to talk about the fusion of cultures. I want to talk about the migration of communities that we have in the city. So it's not everything has to be entertainment.
Of course.
We have to educate ourselves every day. So
Excellent.
That's my contribution.
Excellent. Well, you're doing a wonderful job. Cultura Libre, it's on Mondays at 6:30 p.m. on BX Omni. And tell the good people of the Bronx, what can we look forward to in future episodes of Cultura Libre?
Well, you will have more interviews, definitely more artists. I'm going to stick still talking about the Bronx and probably other boroughs as well to find other interesting places so people, locals, and also tourists can go and visit those places. Yeah.
Cindy, Emilia, Matamoros, people.
The whole day.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it. Coming up next, we have Peter Solano. He's from Life on Life Terms. It's Emerging Media Makers on BronxNet. Stay with us.
Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. Behold, the angry giant. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I guess sometimes things just happen. Devastating things. Your whole world changes in an instant. That's what happened to me the day my mother had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Welcome back. It's Emerging Media Makers. I'm Bernardo, and next we have Peter Stephen, right? Or Stephen. Yes. I'm sorry, Peter Stephen. And he is from Life on Life Terms, a brand new show here on BronxNet. Let's welcome Peter Stephen.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you so much for being here, man.
Thank you. Love the opportunity.
Oh, no problem, no problem. So please tell us, before we get into the nuts and bolts of the show, where you came to us from.
Oh, I came from the Bronx.
Okay.
I had past experience in BronxNet prior, and I'm coming back again. I used to be a field producer.
Ah.
So I seen the opportunity was available still, and I took advantage of it.
So you used to be a field producer for BronxNet?
Yes.
Like way back?
Yeah, way back in the day.
What about?
Years ago.
Okay.
Years ago, years ago. Yeah,
And
it's an exciting experience, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah,
And
I
what
loved it.
inspired you to come back to us and start a brand new show?
Life on life terms, dealing with reality.
Okay.
I experienced hardship in my life. I started realizing the importance of mental wellness and started talking with people and came together and found people who care about community. And we started talking about the stigma, mental health, mental wellness, mental illness. And from my background, from where I came from, starting, it's been a challenge. And I realized this is a discussion that can be helpful to others.
So Life in Life Terms is a TV show, we know that, but it's a lot more.
It is. It is.
It's-
For example, we have a monthly call that the same group of individuals who care about the communities, we have the first and third Tuesday every month. Can I give the number?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, it's 302-202-1108. Type the extension 738-556. That's the first and third Tuesday every month at 9 p.m. That's for anybody. Eastern Standard Time, of course.
And why do you feel there's a stigma surrounding mental health? Like, why did you feel it was super important to
It was
present
hard
this
to
kind of
talk
show?
about growing up. And plus, I didn't even know about it. You know, my background come from the projects, experiencing hardship. Where's the next dollar coming from? Raising a family, being a father. Who do I come to? And speaking to people, it's like, wow, something, you know, I experienced. Then the next person said something they're experienced. So everybody experiencing this, it's like, wow, it's a conversation that needs to happen. It's very important.
And I feel like for males, it's particularly difficult to share emotion and kind of ask for help when there's a problem, right?
Agreed.
And why do you feel that is?
Machoism.
Yeah.
We're learning, though. We're learning. Maybe not the greatest, but we're learning.
Are you seeing a difference?
Yeah,
now in
I have.
the way it's
I have.
perceived and
It was
the
a male
reaction?
that was very clear to me about stigma, and that was something I felt, and it keeps me driving. It keeps me wanting to do this more. It keeps me wanting to utilize the resources here and also Mercy College, which I have done, and I have a recording December 22nd, which we're also bringing the music aspect of the streets of the community. We're going to do a show of ciphers and hip hop performances. So
Nice.
yeah, we're bringing it in, and it's interesting. It's a good discussion, and that's really where we're at. You know,
So you're
just
looking
having
at-
the conversation.
You're looking to engage the community?
Yes,
Beautiful.
yes, definitely looking to engage the community, and I can't say enough about the people I'm working with. There's Alan, there's Brittany, there's Marcus, there's Jason, there's Josh, and these people are. It's just great. Different age ranges, different colors. I mean, different color skins. You know, different nationality, different races, and it goes beyond real talk, because they say, you know, some people say I'm real, but you have to validate that. You have to be able to kind of talk about what real is, and having different opinions and different discussions is very organic, and that's what I'm like really excited about, because I'm learning a lot myself.
Such an important show, and we're happy to have it here on BronxNet.
Thank
Let's
you.
check it out. Life in Life Terms. We're going to go to a clip right now on BronxNet, Emerging Media Makers.
Can you give us a little bit of information with regards to what stress is for you and how you deal with it?
Well, what stresses me out is when I can't help my family out. Like I said, when I came home, it was a little struggle. I just lost my pops the year before that. You know, so when I came home, I was still dealing with the aftermath of my father being gone for 8 months already, and the woman of my life dealing with it.
Right.
All right, so.
That's Peter Steffen's new show, Life on Live Terms, airing Tuesdays at 6:30 p.m. on our BX Life channel. It's Optimum number 70 and Files 36. So we are here with Peter Steffen. He is the producer and host as well? Or?
The host is Alan hosts. She's the one who did the interview on that clip. And that's an interesting clip, because that gentleman is coming from an incarcerated environment, from incarceration. And that within itself has its own mental wellness aspects to it, and his experience. So it's challenging.
And I noticed that in that clip, there was talk about stress. Do you feel like that's the number one? Like, what's the number one
I would
topic
say
you think
stress.
of?
It's interesting. I did as I go out to the community and I do my community presentations to different organizations, I ask them, I say, hey, everybody, raise your hand if you experience stress. Everybody raises their hand. And that's the interesting aspect, because it opens up the door to different communication. Stress. Who hasn't experienced stress? But there's also other aspects to stress. which come into play. So it's just a beginning, just kind of like this, just like this experience. And Emerging Media Makers, this show has given me the opportunity to express that. You know how grateful I am. When I'm home or by myself, I'm like, wow, this is such a great experience. And I send my hand out and say thank you.
No problem.
I appreciate that because this is much needed.
Well, we appreciate you doing this type of important show for the community of the Bronx. And thank you so much for coming.
You're welcome.
And it is life on life terms. What can we expect to see in future episodes? I mean, you've touched on stress, you touched on different topics. Yeah, I know that you have that show, the musical, with the musical aspect to it coming up. What's coming up beyond that?
Everything, mental health, wellness, illness, everything that anybody has to share. Anybody out there in the cameras that wants to communicate and talk, we're here. Information will be there, and just whatever's emerging in dealing with, you know, that specific issue.
And go ahead and give out the number one more time. And it's not professionals. It's just people there to listen, right?
Yeah, and that's a certain aspect. Not that we're against any professionals, but it's just everyday people that are not licensed clinician but able to talk about it. And we have a monthly call every month, the first and third Tuesday every month. It's at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's 302-202-1108. And say please enter the code to get into the actual support group, and that number is 738-556.
There you go.
Go. Thank you.
Peter Steffen.
Yes.
Life on Life Terms. Check it out on BronxNet, brand new show. Coming up next, Miriam Tabb, Uptown NYC, Emerging Media Makers. We're back. Our next guest is Miriam Tabb. Let's welcome her to the show. It's Uptown NYC's very own Miriam Tabb on Emerging Media Makers.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you very much for coming.
You're quite welcome.
I remember you from orientation.
Yes.
That was like early last year, I believe.
Yes.
And you came up to me and you were like, I'm going to get on channel 67, I think, or 68. You were like, I just want to get on somewhere.
Yes.
And I'm like, we're going to work on that. And now you are hosting and also producing Uptown NYC. So first of all, before we get into that, what compelled you to start yet another show? Because you used to have two other shows on BronxNet.
Yes, I used to have two other shows.
Okay, and now you started this show. So tell us about it. What was the process? How were we so lucky to get you again?
So I noticed that they had this huge emergence of pride in the Bronx. Within the last 10 years, everyone has been coming forth with this Bronx pride, not just through merchandise of having a logo on there mentioning the Bronx, but just talking about the culture, new restaurants popping up, just new things to do, like ziplining at the Bronx Zoo. And no one was covering this culture, this cuisine. And so I just wanted to just show another side of us.
And you're absolutely right about the zip lining. I mean, nobody talks about that. And I
Right.
went to the Bronx Zoo myself, and I'm like, I'd never heard about this before. So now you can fill that niche, right? So this show talks about those hidden gems in the Bronx.
It talks about the hidden gems. It talks about the history. I mean, not a lot of people know that we have an African burial cemetery. We have a Civil War cemetery. I mean, it's a lot going on. It's a lot of history here. So we cover history. We cover current events. We cover just all the happenings that are going on right now because it's popular. As they say, we're fire right now. We're emerging. We have this new vitalization that's going on, and people are just hungry for it. They're ready for the change. They see it happening in so many other boroughs. But meanwhile, it's been happening here for a while.
Sure.
But it has to be covered. You know, instead of having us show that dark side from the history, which everyone has a dark side. But come on, let ours grow, let ours go, and let us grow. That's what I say.
You're very driven, very passionate, and very interactive with your audience on camera. What drives this style, this passion that you obviously have?
It's the content. It's the people. People want to show you the pride here in the Bronx, whether it's healthcare, whether it's auto mechanics. They just want to show it to you. Like, you know, I'm from the Bronx. I got my car from the Bronx. I live in the Bronx. I raise my kids in the Bronx. I go to the movies in the Bronx. I go to plays in the Bronx. We have 4 theaters here to go see plays. And not a lot of people that live here know that. You know, the parks are beautiful. We have more parkland than any other borough. You understand? So, but people want to focus on, oh, well, the Bronx has more shelters than any other borough. Show our good side. It's
Absolutely.
a lot of pride here in the Bronx. And that's what I like to talk to the people about. Where are you eating at? What's the new happening? What's going on in your neighborhood? I mean, the neighborhoods, the communities are stronger than ever now here in the Bronx. And that's what I want to highlight. I want to highlight what people want to show who they are. Because that's what the Bronx, that's who we are. That's our pride, and we're so proud of it. Everybody, they're always throwing up their BX signs. They're very proud. We're more than just the Yankees, who we do love, but it's so much more to us than that. It's so much more to our schools. It's so much more to our hospitals. It's so much more even to our local fire departments who engage in the community. Everyone gives out turkeys. The restaurants, the local restaurants. We have new restaurants. We have bistros. We have empanology. We have all these great places that we can go to. And again, I want to mention the Bronx Zoo with the zip lining. There's golfing. There's kayaking. There's canoeing along the Bronx River. It's so much to do.
Miriam Tabb, 2020, ladies and gentlemen. I love it. So inspiring. Miriam's new show is Uptown NYC. It's on Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. on BX Omni, which is Optimum 68 and Files 34. Now we're going to check out a small taste of Uptown NYC on Emerging Media Makers.
Hello, everyone. This is Miriam from Uptown NYC. I am here with Rosa Garcia, the owner of the Mott Haven Bar and Grill. So tell me a little bit about what you did before being the owner of Mott Haven Bar and Grill.
I gave birth to my first child in February 2007. I hate staying home, so I found this ad on Craigslist. A month after giving birth to her, I started working here as the bookkeeper and property manager to the building across the street. And 7 years in, then I became owner of Mott Haven Bar and Grill.
From Miriam Tabb's Uptown NYC. It's a brand new show on BronxNet. And in that clip, you actually talked to the owner of the Mott Haven Bar and Grill.
Great place.
You also had, you were at the Duke Ellington concert in the Woodlawn Cemetery.
Yes,
amazing.
fabulous, isn't it?
Amazing, and you spent the day at Belmont Park.
Yes.
So much diversity.
Yes. Well, Belmont Park actually started here in the Bronx. It's where St. James Park is on Jerome Avenue in Kingsbridge. That was actually the Belmont Parkway. That's where horse racing began. and then and then it moved to Reservoir over there near Pelham, and then it was in Queens. So the history started here.
And I couldn't believe it. You ran into Funk Master Flex on the street.
Was that the street?
I won't tell anybody. Was that staged?
No,
you ran into him.
He was here. It was Bronx Week. He was being honored by the mayor, Bronx Borough President Ruben Diaz. Funk Master Flex was there. The real Grand Theodore Wizard. I mean, I know these guys, and you know they're Bronxites, and they're proud to be Bronxites. I mean, I love Jennifer Lopez, but there's so many other people from here. Shout out to J-Lo.
But she is from the block.
Yes, she is from the block.
You got to give her props. I mean, come on.
Jenny, come give me that interview.
maybe she'll come on Uptown NYC.
There you
want to shout out your team?
Yes, my team is fantastic. My production team. We have Al Williams, who's our editor and our sound guy. Also, our music for Uptown NYC. It's all original music.
Nice.
So Al is also, he does all the music he has a band. And then there's Daniel Washington. He does all the camera work. Sean Collins, also a cameraman. We have a drone, so we're constantly overhead. And then we have Samuel Brooks, who does our history. And we also have Paul Ferron, and there's Chelsea Martinez. And it's just a whole team of us. And I'm just so proud. I mean, we're really strong. We have some huge projects. We're going into the area of doing some documentaries and even some film.
Beautiful. That's a big team.
Yes, it is a big team.
Wow.
It's a big team.
Very impressive. Great project. Miriam, thank you so much.
You're quite welcome. Uptown
NYC. That's it. And then let's do the X sign.
Yes, you got to do the X signs.
Thank you for tuning in to Emerging Media Makers. Thank you, Miriam. Check out Uptown NYC. It's Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on BX Omni. So I want to thank our director, Lissy Dominguez, Latricia Burton on the prompter as always, Phil Lane, Audrey Duncan, our producers, associate producers, Leo Mary Rodriguez and Ramon Torres, and the entire creative services team that helps put the show together. BronxNet provides training and classes to Bronxites so that they can tell the stories that are important to them. So to learn more about how you too could have a program and make your idea come true, go to BronxNet.org, BronxNet.org, click on Join Us, and then click on Produce Your Own Show. We look forward to seeing you in the next episode. It's Emerging Media Makers for BronxNet. I'm Bernardo Moronta.